absolute love with this one. Hi everyone, I'm Angelina and this is Blueprint DIY, where we make our clothes to be just as unique as us. I am super excited because I am loving vintage sweaters like this one that I have on. I thrifted it. It was an online thrift purchase. I'll give you guys the link to the store that I purchased it from. I am just loving vintage sweaters right now. And the problem is you can't find good ones everywhere. Like, I am having a hard time. Seems like my daughter has better luck than me finding really good vintage sweaters. And so I was thinking, like, well, why don't we just make our own? Because that's what we do here. And we're in luck. You're in luck. Everybody's in luck because today we have one no-sew tutorial and one sewing tutorial. So we're going to start with our no-sew. This one, I was inspired by this amazing, like, white or cream sweater with this, like, piping, like, just randomly flowing all over it. Love, love, love it. We're going to recreate that. I normally don't do direct recreations, but this one is almost a direct recreation. So yeah. And then the second one is just one of those like ski vintage 70s vibe sweaters, the ones with the chevron. If you know 70s sweaters, if you've seen them before, you're going to kind of know, you're going to catch that vibe that I'm throwing out there for you. So I picked up a couple sweaters and we're going to work with them and see what we can come up with. All right, let's do it. All right, so we have our sweater here. This is a thrifted sweater from the store Aerie. And it's one of those like dolman sleeve kind of sweaters where the arms look super short, but they're not really because the shoulder is like a drop shoulder. And I also have, I ordered this on Amazon, and it is some piping cord, and this is 6mm. So you can check Amazon. I'll have a link in the description box for this. And it's just black because of the inspiration. So I thought that that was a really cool thing to do, and we're gonna try it. So for this project, all you're going to need is some okay to wash it glue, some type of fabric glue. And I like the okay to wash it because it's washable. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just find a place where on the side seam where I can tuck this inside, and I'll just like safety pin it for now. And we're gonna glue it to the inside later, but we're gonna tuck that inside and safety pin it. All right, so now that's secure to the inside. I do have a cutting table, a cutting mat underneath here so that I don't get glue all on the other side. So I'm gonna just play around with the design before I start gluing. I'm having to turn the spool to get it to make it uncurly, I guess. Now, the one thing I am concerned about with this is I am stretching it a little bit because of the mat, using the mat to stretch it because I don't want it to not be stretchy anymore, but then I don't want to deform it either. So I am concerned about that as well. All right, we are ready to start gluing. So all I'm gonna do is lift and glue. Now, if you do want to sew this, hand sew this, of course, that would definitely ensure that it lasts much longer. You could take your pins and then pin it all around, and then that would make it so that it won't move, and then you can go from the inside and sew it down. So I'm just gonna add glue and set it. I don't want to do too much glue, but then I don't want to do it not enough. All right, so we're gonna keep going all the way through, and then I'll show you again once we get to like the sleeves and all that stuff. But that's pretty much how you do it. All right, so this is what it looks like after gluing everything down. You can kind of see the glue coming away from underneath there, but it's not too bad. But yeah, I decided not to do the sleeves because I really think that the sleeves, because they're fitted sleeves, if they were like big sleeves, like giant sleeves, like the Inspiration, I would go ahead and do them because then the piping wouldn't cause it to squeeze my arm, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna do the front and the back because I hate when there's a detail on the front of something and not on the back. That gets on my nerves. So we're going to wait for this to dry and then I'll do the back. All right, everything is dry and nice and in place. I just see one spot I used a little bit too much glue, but it'll eventually get to where it needs to be. I'm gonna loose the glue from the cutting board and then take the cutting board away. And this is the back. I came back in about maybe 4 hours and it was dry enough to turn over. All right, so that's what we got. That's the front, that's the back. And so I just need to find a place to tuck it into the seam here and then glue it to the inside. There we go. And let that sit until it dries a little bit, and then I'll come back and glue it to the inside. All right, I figured out how to glue it all and not have to wait. So I am gonna take my pins and I'm just gonna pin it in place, just like I told you to do if you were gonna hand sew it. That way it's not going anywhere. It's gonna stay right there. And now I can glue the inside, and I'll probably pin that down as well. And don't forget that we have our first part, the very first part, that was safety pinned. All right, I'm just gonna glue this right to the shoulder seam, right next to the shoulder seam, and add a little glue to the end so it'll stop fraying up. All right, so last thing, add a little glue to the end. All right, so now we just let everything dry finally, and it'll be done. And if you love upcycling and you don't want to miss any of these amazing fall winter tutorials as well, we have Next Top Upcycler going on. If you don't know what that is, check the link in the description box. It is a competition series right here on this channel where people all over the world are competing to be crowned Next Top Upcycler. So I am super excited about that. So definitely subscribe and turn on all notifications so you don't miss a thing. All right, for this one, really easy sewing tutorial. And I know you guys are thinking like, oh, these could be layered on top of one another and look absolutely super cute. But I am not digging the way this one fits. So I'm going to use it to make like a vintage looking turtleneck. And so I just want one chevron going on the front and back of the turtleneck. So I'm gonna lay the turtleneck, make sure front is front and back is back. Not that it matters, but just from my understanding, I'm gonna lay one on top of the other. And the reason I'm gonna lay this one lower is because I want to keep as much of this one as possible because I could turn it into something else later. I could use that extra, as well as this like little waistband down here. I could use that later. Maybe I'll turn it into a cropped something. We'll see. But for now, what I'm going to do is we're cutting a chevron that goes from underneath the arm. You could like put it into the arm seam, but we're trying to keep this as easy as possible. So I am going to try to take it from under the arm down and like that. So it's gonna go up like that. So I want to cut everything at the same time. So that all I have to do is find the middle point of my block sweater. And that tells me where the chevron should meet in the middle. So I am going to just kind of mark that off. Now we just gotta figure out like how deep we want our chevron to be. I don't think we have a whole lot of room to play with, so it's not gonna be too deep. All right. So what I'm going to do is move this out of the way, and I'm going to cut this out but leave some seam allowance. So that means I'm going to cut to the inside of each of these lines. And I've seen people add tape to their cutting lines on sweaters so that the sweater would adhere to the tape and not fray. I'm not super worried about that, but that's just a tip. All right, so we're gonna move this out of the way and put this one back. I'm purposely trying to get it as low as possible because all I want at the bottom is just the waistband left, because I could use that for something. All right, so I'm gonna cut this out. Now we can move this out of the way, and I'm just gonna lay the sweater and clip. I'm gonna do it from the front middle first and then out to the sides, because the cheetah print sweater seems to be a little bit bigger than the other sweater, and I'm gonna do my very best not to stretch at all. It seems to be matching up pretty well. So we'll also attach it on the back from the middle once again out to the outside, and I'm going to serge mine so that I can capture those edges. If you don't have a serger, you're going to use your overlock stitch, like this stitch right here, on your sewing machine, or you can also just use a zigzag stitch, and then afterwards make sure you go back and fray check those edges. Even if you do serge it or overlock it, you could also add fray check, and that will just make double sure that none of your edges start to fray. All right, so we're gonna take it to the serger, sewing machine, whichever one you have, and sew it along the edge. Once you finish that, you'll bring it back and attach the bottom in the exact same way, and you'll be done. Okay, really quick, I've of course had more cording. Well, not of course, because that sweater took a lot, but I did have more cording from the first tutorial, and so I decided to add it right here to the edges to make this sweater look more finished. And so what I ended up having to do is just fold the seam towards the black part on both sides, and then kind of like open that seam up, push that in, and then do one of those like zigzag stitches that you do for stretchy material, and did it like right between the seam. And then for this one, I decided to go back on both sides and do it. I think I like that. I might do it on both sides, we'll see. So on the sides, I just left them open. And remember this seam that I took in? It's already a serged seam. So all I did was open it up right at the bottom. I'm gonna open it up at the top, and then I'll just serge it close back. And you know, make sure that those ends are done, attached to the sweater, and that will be it. That's all she wrote. I am super excited for this. I love how they turned out. I'm so happy I was able to do it without a whole lot of fuzz and fray everywhere. So I'm super excited about that. So I am going to style the black piping on the white sweater first. Oh, let's do it now. I am in absolute love with this one. The thing is that I really like things that I can wear in multiple ways. Like really, I could throw on some black jogging pants, wear some sneakers, and go out the house. And the sweater does all the work. Like the sweater is doing all the work. I have this sweater on with some black jogging pants. It's doing all the work for me. And I love pieces like that. And then putting it on with some bright pink pants and crazy white and black boots, and then you know, then you're fashion forward, or just some jeans, whatever. It's doing all the work. It's giving what it was supposed to give. So yes, I'm so glad we did this. There's one minor thing. I don't like the glue smell. I don't know how long it's gonna last. Check the comment section. I will update you guys as to whether that smell goes away after a while. And I know you guys are gonna ask, how am I gonna wash it? I am going to do my dry clean at home solution on this. So if you check the description box, I'll put the link to that video. I dry clean all my clothes at home. I don't send them to the cleaners, but it's just, you put it in the dryer. So I'll put it in the dryer on low in a bag with the little solution in there, and yeah, that's how I'll clean it. But I'll keep you guys updated in the description box. All right, so let's see this second one now. This isn't giving strong 70s vibes, I don't know what is. I really like this. And I'm not always digging like 70s stuff, but I really like this. And I'm not always digging cheetah print, which is probably why the whole sweater I just didn't care for that much. But that hint of it is really doing it for me. So yeah. With the shorts, and by the way, these shorts used to be pants, but I did a no-sew on them and turned them into shorts, so I'll put that tutorial in the description box as well. And with the boots, I've had these boots for probably at least 5 seasons now. I thrifted them. They come out every fall and winter, so I thought that they went perfect with this, and they're definitely right along with, in the same vein, the same vibes as well. So yes, I love these 2 sweaters. I have a couple other sweaters that I really want to do for you guys. Let me know in the description box some other sweater tutorials that you think I should do, or whatever. Fall winter vibes. Let me know in the comment section below, and also let me know if you enjoyed these particular sweaters that we did today and how I styled them. Definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are really trying to get to that 300,000 mark. It seems like it's taking forever this time, but I know we'll get there. And if you are a subscriber, thank you so much for being a subscriber and for supporting this channel. And I have a ton of other videos for you right here. I will link you to my fall winter playlist, some great tutorials in there as I'm building my fall winter upcycle wardrobe right now, and I will see you in the next one. All right, bye.